Although the NBA playoffs are still ongoing and the NBA finals haven't even started yet, the NBA offseason is just as exciting to talk about. So here are 7 important free agents that can change the landscape of the NBA depending on what team they sign with, starting with the big one, Kevin Durant. The Warriors are going to need him if they want to three-peat this year. He's most likely not going to play against the Blazers series, especially because the Warriors are currently up 2-0 against them. But it seemed like the Milwaukee Bucks or the Toronto Raptors, where their best player is a forward, they're going to need Kevin Durant. And I know that sounds so privileged, right? The Warriors have to play with 3 out of the 5 All-Stars that they have. But if Durant's ultimately not healthy for the finals, win or lose, I think he's going to want to stay a Golden State Warrior. Obviously, there's popular headlines saying he could go to the New York Knicks, he could go to the Los Angeles Clippers, he could go to the Lakers even. There's a bunch of teams Kevin Durant could go to, but like I said, if he doesn't play in the finals, I feel like he'll feel that he has unfinished business with the Warriors. But obviously, we don't know because he's Kevin Durant. Next up, Kawhi Leonard of the Toronto Raptors. They're down 2-0 against the Bucks. Bucks are up. This one's the most interesting one for me because Kawhi pulled a Mavs rondo last year. Said he wanted to be in LA and then got traded to the complete opposite city of that in Toronto. Toronto is not LA. That's not where he's from. But maybe the 1 year with the Raptors changed Kawhi's mind, just like how Paul George decided to stick it out with Russell Westbrook. I personally love the idea of Kawhi Leonard leaving the Toronto Raptors this offseason and joining a different team, whether on his own or with another superstar, because the offseason right now topic is Kevin Durant. Kawhi Leonard is just as good as a player as Kevin Durant. Next up, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler had a cryptic Instagram post saying thank you Philly. That could just mean, thank you Philly for the amazing season that we had and supporting the team, even though if we lost in the second round against the Raptors. Could be what it means, or it could be him saying thank you Philly. My time here is done. I'm going to go join a different team with a different max contract player. And maybe that player is Kawhi Leonard. Maybe him and Kawhi go to the Clippers, go to the Nets, go to a team with cap space, and team up. That'd essentially be the San Antonio Spurs that never was, considering the Spurs could have drafted Jimmy. Jimmy, Kawhi, that's a nice defensive combo and offensive threat. Although I see him staying with the Sixers, I don't know if Tobias Harris stays as well, even though if the Sixers have said they'd be able to commit to giving both players big contracts. It just didn't work against the Raptors. And unless Ben Simmons could develop a jump shot next season, I don't think it will work again next season either. The next free agent is Klay Thompson. We talked about his teammate Kevin Durant of the Golden State Warriors. Klay Thompson is just as important to the Warriors' success as Durant, if not a little bit more important. The Splash Brothers. That's what really drives the Warriors. Realistically, I see Klay Thompson staying a Warrior more than I see Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant I only see if he's injured during the finals. The Warriors could definitely keep one of these said players, Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant. But to keep both, they'd probably have to trade away a guy like Andre Iguodala or maybe even Draymond Green. And I don't think the Warriors want to mess that up just yet. They want to keep that core that originally won the championship of Curry, Klay, and Draymond. We'll obviously see, but Klay, probably the most likely player on this list to stay with their team next season. The 5th player we'll be talking about is Kyrie Irving of the Boston Celtics. He's gone. He's gone. He's not going to be back as a Boston Celtic next year. Simply for the fact of how everything imploded with the Celtics. The chemistry was off. There was players unhappy with their roles. Terry Rozier being the big one. Obviously, with Gordon Hayward coming back from injury, it messed up the momentum of the young guys as well. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Even if the Celtics managed to end up with Anthony Davis next season, still, Kyrie leaves. Unless they traded away all the players that had a problem with Kyrie for Anthony Davis. We'll have to see, but he's most likely going to go team up with LeBron, even though there's reports from his camp saying that's not true whatsoever. The other popular one is Kevin Durant in New York or Kevin Durant with the Nets. He has New Jersey ties. Jason Kidd is an assistant coach with the Lakers. So is his best boy, LeBron James. Kyrie Irving, although he is a super talented player, is a better second option than he is a first. Kyrie playing again with LeBron James or even Kevin Durant will be super fun to watch as well. Next up, Kemba Walker. This is a lose-lose situation for the Charlotte Hornets. If he walks, the Charlotte Hornets will have nothing. If he stays, they'll be paying him a max contract most likely and not have enough talent around him. I've been saying this for like the past few years now. Kemba Walker's essentially a non-glorified Kyrie Irving. You know, Kyrie Irving has had help throughout his career so far, and Kemba Walker unfortunately hasn't. Kemba Walker also being one of the only players on this list that didn't make the 2019 NBA playoffs. I say he stays in Charlotte, but there has been rumors of him going to the Mavericks. People say him and Luka and Porzingis would be a perfect combo and push the Mavs over the edge. I don't necessarily think that. You know, I feel like if Kemba is the only player that goes to the Mavs this offseason, they still wouldn't make the Western Conference playoffs. I personally like the Utah Jazz as a destination for Kemba. Now, I feel like not a lot of people are talking about it, but it's a defensive-minded team. With Kemba, it'll push them over the edge offensively, and as he gets older, they could hide him on the defensive end as well. Kemba's definitely the wild card of the bunch of free agents that I'm talking about. He's going to change a franchise, you know, whether he leaves or stays in Charlotte, Charlotte will forever be changed. Last but not least, Khris Middleton, a player that isn't name recognition on the level of all the other players I mentioned, but he's essentially the glue guy and Giannis's right-hand man with the Milwaukee Bucks, the perfect 3-and-D type player. You know, Eric Bledsoe got his extension, and now the Bucks are looking to re-sign Lopez, Middleton, and Brogdon. I don't feel like they're going to successfully be able to re-sign all three of those key players for the team, but Middleton is definitely a priority. I don't see Middleton leaving Milwaukee, especially with how good the Bucks are doing currently. I could have mentioned a guy like Tobias Harris or Vucevic or DeMarcus Cousins even for this last spot, but I feel like Middleton is way more important for his team than those guys I just mentioned. You know, he makes Giannis work. He makes it work in Milwaukee because without Middleton and all the shooters around Giannis would essentially just be a taller version of Russell Westbrook. So those are my thoughts on, in my opinion, the 7 most important free agents this offseason. It's going to be a fun and interesting time, even though I'm already looking past the NBA Finals, which hasn't happened. But if you like this video, leave a like on it, share it around, check out some of these other videos on screen. Thank you for watching.